Welcome back to the CryptoLabs Passive Income YouTube channel. No more ROI Dapps crap. No more centralized projects. Can we make that deal together? I've been getting attacked a little bit lately over and by some projects. We don't need referral money. We don't need to get paid to review projects. We don't promote it, and hence I don't care if projects or teams like me or not. I'm just sharing the truth. You cannot get ahead with ROI Dapps anymore. It's just not going to happen. That season is over. Way back in the day, you could. The average project lasted for around 62 days, and if you were in and out in 30 days, consistently you would make a lot of money. That doesn't exist anymore. And so what we do over the last year is True Defi, real yields, like not Ponzi-nomics. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video is our system, and we do see it as a business. We're building a business. So with that said, we're going to get into it. Do leave a comment if something lands during this video. You automatically get entered into our weekly $100 giveaway. So just leave a comment, like this video, and if we earn it, subscribe. If we don't earn it, I get it, but if we do earn it, subscribe to this channel. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, first of all, the business side of your DeFi portfolio. Every position you enter is a business, or at least we should be seeing it as a business. We get member wins every single day and every single week of like, once I started looking, and I'm paraphrasing here, but once I started looking at my DeFi portfolio like a business, my mindset shifted. It shifted from how do I make as much per day to how do I create monthly and quarterly and yearly returns. That's simple. I'd rather make money over the next 6 months and make less per day, but more over the 6 months, than try to make as much as possible over the next 3 days and then lose it all. It's why we don't get into risky assets. We typically stay in big blue chip, like high TVL type projects and dexes and pools. And we don't set super tight ranges. We go a little bit wider. I may be making less per day, but it's more consistent. And it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. And the compound interest effect is real. The longer you're in the game, the more you earn. We also see that come through a lot is the first 2 or 3 months was a little rough, it was a little slow, but then it really started speeding up for me. And that's because you're building a business. And the first few months of building a business, they're a little tough. But once things start moving, we start earning those yields and recouping those rewards and really starting to pick the fruit of the seeds that we've sown in the dirt for our business. So I'm just gonna look at 3. We typically try to get into like 6, 7, 8, max of 10 positions. We're talking about yield farming here on the major dexes. I just did a video and I'll post it here on the 7 dexes that we yield farm on. It's really worth checking out. But let's just keep things Uniswap. You know, I'll be in like a ARB and let's just say ETH pool. And I'm just using these as an example. Don't get into these until you know what you're doing. But just for an example, I'll be in an ARB and ETH correlated pair if I feel the market is going to be in the green. So if the market is moving up and ARB is increasing in value and ETH is increasing in value, I'm seeing less in permanent loss. And ARB and ETH are actually quite correlated, but I'm seeing less in permanent loss. We do have a video on correlated pairs. I will leave it up here somewhere. It's worth studying that and really understanding impermanent loss. But if I believe the market is going to be bullish, I want to be in a correlated pair, or I want to be in a pool. If it's not correlated, I want to be in a pool where the returns are keeping up with and surpassing the potential impermanent loss of the market going green. So just because you're seeing impermanent loss doesn't mean you're losing money. You're just not making as much as you possibly could if you were holding the assets individually. Let me know if that makes sense. If you want me to expand on that, just let me know in the comments and I'll do another video on impermanent loss and correlated pairs. Then if I think the market is going to be sideways, which has been for the last year, which is I think the easiest to yield farm on, maybe I'm in something, I'll just share an example here of like ARB and USDC, which has been one of my best performing pools, and ARB has stayed fairly consistent. I've been in range and I've made almost half of the liquidity that I provided in this pool I've made back in ARB returns. We're going to talk about that in a second. What if I think the market is going to be bearish? What if it doesn't look too good? Well, sometimes I'll just pick assets. And I'm not talking about like a big crash and burn where cryptos are going to go down 200%. What I'm talking about is things aren't looking that hot and I want to just kind of chill. I want to get into pools that I'm long-term bullish on the actual underlying asset, like let's just say ETH, and maybe I'll pair it with a stable coin. So it's if I just held ETH, I'd be down 20%. If I hold ETH and USDC, I'll be down 10% because USDC will be slowing down the impermanent loss or slowing down the losses on ETH. Now, I don't get out of these positions. You'll only take the impermanent loss. You'll only lock in the losses if you sell your position. But I'm long-term on ETH. And so if I could be earning a couple percent per week in ETH, I really don't care because I keep taking that ETH and I keep moving it into my bull run bag. I keep taking that ETH every week and I move it into my bull run bag. And I don't care if ETH drops 15%, I'm just stacking. And that's what we've been doing all year. And I think there's still opportunities in certain assets to do that. So then you've got a decision, you've got a choice to make. And let me know if you're still following along here. And if you want me to expand on anything, just ask it in the comments and I'll do a video for you. We got a choice to make. What do we want to do? I'm earning ARB and I'm earning ETH. Do I want to take those profits and move them into my bull run bag? Do I want to convert ETH into ARB and move 100% of that into my bull run bag? Or do I want to sell that stuff into stablecoin and go spend it in the real world? Or, because I'm in some blue chip assets here and they're raising in value, do I want to take some of those and move them into different alts that I think can 25, 40, 50x? That's a strategy you're going to have to ultimately decide on for yourself, and we have to zoom out and say, where do I want to be in 24 months? What's my exit plan here? I'm not in this crypto game to make as much money as possible because you typically lose playing that game. I don't see many people win saying, I want to make as much money as possible, but they don't have an idea of what that number is. Let's just say you want to make $1.5 million in the next bull run. Okay, let's reverse engineer that and design a portfolio that can get you there. If you don't, or maybe you want to make 150 grand, which some people will do with just a few $1,000s, by the way. But let's say you want to make 100 grand and you're starting with X amount. Depending on how much you're starting with, we're going to have to make a plan on how we want to structure that. How much do we want in our DeFi portfolio? How much do we want to hold in our bull run bag? What assets do we want to get into? What kind of yields do we need to generate? So you can get to your $100,000 goal next, let's just say bull run. And what I find is when people just say, I want to make as much as possible, they hit 100 grand, they hit 120 grand, they get greedy, they stay in way too long, and then they lose it all. We see that every cycle. Don't let that be you. Have a plan. When you're sitting on it, what are you going to do with it? Where's it going to go next? And the cycles will continue. Remember that. So we're moving. Let me know if you're following along here. We're moving, let's just say we're moving some ARB into our bull run bag. We're moving some ETH into our bull run bag. We're moving some AVAX into our bull run bag. We're moving some, I don't care what. I got some Radiant that I yield farm and I move into my bull run bag. And this portfolio value keeps going up because I keep increasing the size of it. I keep adding assets or I keep adding different coins and get different tokens to it. Bull run comes and we have what we call laddering out. There's going to be set points for each asset where you're going to sell and take profits on the way up. You do not want to try and time things. People get into this problem because they want to make as much money as possible. And so they hold their whole bull run bag. Maybe it looks something like this actually. And up here, let's just say it's worth 100K and we're stoked. We still haven't sold. And then the market dips a little bit, things are cooling off, and now it's only worth 80K. The psychology that I see people, the trap I see people fall into is, well, my portfolio was worth 100K and they want that back. They feel like they lost 20K here, which they really haven't because they haven't sold. So let's just say the portfolio was worth 20K. They wrote it up. Now it's worth 100 on paper. They're looking at their ledger or they're looking at their tangent or they're looking at their wallet. I got 100K. Then the market dips a little bit, now it's 80. And what I see happen to people, and I fall into this trap, is now they're just going to be waiting, well, I want 100K back because I had 100K and now I lost 20, which you didn't. And they'll wait, and now it's worth 60K. They'll wait, now it's worth 40, things crash, now it's worth 20, and they're like, well, I'm just where I was when I started. And they made zero money, yet they expended all this time, energy, and attention, and frustration and stress trying to make money, and they never got anywhere. I'd rather make 90K because I didn't time the top and I took some profit, I took some profit, I took some profit. It went past 100K, peaked, I took some profit, and I made 90K, no stress, nice and easy. And so we do see these as two separate things. This is our DeFi portfolio. These are little businesses. Each business has a different strategy. And this is my investment portfolio. And I move these yields, and everyone's going to have a different percentage that they move. I move 100% of these yields into my bull run bag. Sometimes I'll stake some of this. Even liquid staking can be a strategy. If you're holding ETH or if you're holding Solana, you can liquid stake and you can get a token back and earn further yields. But I keep my yields really safe for my bull run bag. I've got a crap ton of Bitcoin. I'm not earning much yield on Bitcoin. I need to keep it safe because this is the big money maker. This is the income. This is your income source. Awesome. That creates income, but this is your wealth builder. This is where the wealth is created. And that's that. Like, a lot of people overcomplicate that strategy. That's it. Now you have different levers you can pull within the game depending on how you structure this and which assets you want to get into, because you can see a 3x on your portfolio from where we're at now, turn 10K into 30K, or you can see a 25x, turn 10K into $250,000. Just depends how you have it set up, your risk tolerance and your portfolio goals, and really how active you want to be, how hands-on you want to be. If you want to be super passive like I am, you may earn a little bit lower yields on here, and I'm okay with that. And I may not maximize the value of this, but I have a lot of things going on, and I'm okay making 10% less overall because I was a little more passive. Other people, they do this literally 8 hours a day, and they want maximum yields, and they're a little more hands-on, and so they'll make maybe 10 or 15% more overall, and that's awesome too. Just depends on you. Let me know in the comments if this helped. I will leave some other videos up here in a second regarding impermanent loss, maybe our top 7 farms or dexes that we like to yield farm on, and maybe some other videos. We have members doing everywhere from $10, $20 a day to $320 a day. We just had someone do $580 a day. We'll post that down here. You can look at the strategy and you can kind of have a look at what our members are doing and what we're doing and what you could be doing to earn yields in DeFi. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I'm already almost 13 minutes in, so I'm gonna get out of here. If there's anything else I can help you with, do leave it in the comments and we'll create content just for you. Appreciate you. Have fun yield farming. And with that said, we'll see you in the next. Peace.